for the next couple hours. Thanks for being here. Oh, and happy birthday to Representative Walt Blackman. His birthday is on Monday, so make sure you all wish happy birthday to him.
Yeah, you can see why we're battle buddies down at the Capitol. I'm Walt Black. You already know that I'm running for Congress. Actually, I'm not running for Congress. I'm already your congressman. I've been doing the work for about 4 years. All we got to do is go in there and clean house. This is our country. This is our state. We're not a socialist country. We're not a Soviet experiment. We are Americans. This is our country. This is the only country we have left. We're not going to go to Australia. We're not going to go to Germany. There is nowhere for us to go. Amen. So we have a choice. We can continue as business as usual, or we can get in the fight. And that takes all of us. In order for us to win and keep our country, get in the game. Amen. I'm Walt Blackman. I'm your congressman already. All you got to do is vote. God bless you. Next, Jim Lamon.
We were asked to say just a couple words here, and I must say, you know, we have some phenomenal people that are speaking here today. And I just want to say that we have an American first candidate, and he's going to come up and he's going to talk a lot. And he spent a lot of time building one of the most powerful, I say powerful power companies in the entire nation, especially the state of Arizona. He is going to come in and clean up a lot of the work that I did. I say a lot. He is going to put American first policies back in the Senate. Jim, would you like to come up and talk to the people? Thank you.
All right, that would be Eric. He does have a different last name, but he does a pretty good impression. Hey, thanks for coming out today. Beautiful day here in Arizona. Jim Lamon, running to be your next America First U.S. Senator. I am not going to be beholding to anyone except yourself. Fortunately, I am your America First candidate for a long time before I ever decided to run for this office. In that, I've been supporting conservative candidates through my company for, probably the last 7 years, including President Trump and Paul Gosar, Brother Blackman, et cetera. Been a big supporter of the audit. Have loaned out Ken Bennett to run that to Karen Fann. He took a brief leave of absence from my campaign to be back next week when the audit findings come out on Tuesday. I think it'll be worth it for all that we've all put together to go make that happen. Third, sponsoring the largest private voter registration project in the country to go out and register more Republicans. We have out-registered the Dems 4-1 last month alone, and looking really good for this month as well. Appreciate your support, not taking PAC dollars, not taking a pension, not taking a salary. I'm simply going to D.C. as a veteran and as a businessman in order to go pick up what President Trump put down as far as policies. I got a little better delivery. I'm not a mean tweeter, but I'll certainly bring the meanness and the linebacker to the Senate. Thank you very much, guys. Hope a great day.
That was awesome. I don't know why Donald's not coming up here and emceeing the rest of this, really. I think we'd all enjoy that. You know, my wife and I were talking about on the way over here, saying she's like really anti-mask, and I see you guys are anti-mask, and I'm not a big fan of the mask, but you know, I got to tell you, there's one thing that there's been fantastic about the mask. Joe, it makes it way harder for Joe to sniff little girls' hair, doesn't it? It's been awesome. Yeah, we haven't seen that once. So let's hear it for the mask for that. Anyway, that was kind of a, no one didn't like my joke? So I'd like to hear from the candidates for running for governor now. We're going to start with Steve Gaynor. Can we come on up, Steve?
Stay in the middle.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Gaynor. I'm running for governor of Arizona. I'm a business guy. I've lived in Arizona for 40 years, been in business here all that time. I also do business in California, and I watched as that state went from a beautiful place to live and work to a socialist nightmare. That's what the Democrats want to do to Arizona. They want to turn Arizona into California. We can't let them do that. We can't let them force us to have COVID vaccines. Do you know in California they're about to pass a law that will force employers to force their employees to have the vaccine? That's what they're doing in California. No way on my watch will that happen here. In Arizona, we need fair and transparent elections. We need to have one day to vote where you show up at the polls and you bring a picture ID. Then you count them, and the next day you know who won, and you have confidence in the results. We need somebody in the governor's office who has run organizations the way I have. Hundreds of employees over 10, 20, 30 years. The government of Arizona has 32,000 employees. We need someone who can make things happen, not respect the special interests, and get things done for the people of Arizona. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. That was great. So next we're going to have Matt Salmon. A lot of us have been impressed with what Matt has done for us over time. Matt made promises and kept promises. I've always been impressed by him and his conservatism. But so we've been so fortunate to have these three amazing candidates. So I'll turn the time over to Matt.
And I will say this for the record, the worst of the Republican candidates is still better than Hobbs. I promise you that. Yeah. Katie Hobbs. She's going to go down in the next election. She's going to be canceled. So let me just say a couple things. How many of you out there believe in freedom? I can't hear you. You can do better than that. How many believe in freedom? All right. Well, I am the proven freedom conservative fighter. I served as a congressman in Washington, D.C. How many of you have heard of the Freedom Caucus? I was one of the founders of the Freedom Caucus because we were sick and tired of the Republicans kowtowing to the Democrats, and it's time that we fight on principle. When I'm elected governor, we're going to tell the federal government to go packing. They're not going to tell us what to do. We're going to tell them what we're going to do for Arizona. And the very first press conference that I hold, it's going to be on the border with a post hole digger, because we're going to get the border wall done if they're not going to. That's a guarantee. The second thing I want you to understand, that they're never, ever, ever going to get our guns. The Second Amendment is something I consider to be sacred. It's there to protect all the other amendments and to make sure that our government stays honest. And I want you to know that that's something I'm going to protect. The other thing I'm going to protect is the sanctity of life. That's something I've always believed in my whole life. And I'm going to fight for that as your governor. But I want you to know we're going to return integrity to our elections. We're going to have voter ID for our mail-in ballots as we do on election day. We're going to make sure that if anybody wants to go ahead and have a recount, they can get it done. We're also going to make sure, I believe in the next election, we need to have a hand count. Let's get rid of the machines. I stand for the blue, but I also stand for common sense. And I believe that our schools have got to stop teaching the crap that's coming out like critical race theory. We've got to make sure that it ends now. If it doesn't end, I'm the candidate that actually called for giving parents their tax dollars so they can take their money to the schools that they want their kids to be in, where they don't have to be taught that kind of crap. And I want to see that through. Look, folks, we need a governor that's going to stand up and fight. The federal government's trying to jam a lot of things down our throats. And the federal government can't even manage the country, much less manage the state of Arizona. Got to have a governor that's going to fight. And guess what? We have one really wonderful tool that we can fight on. It's called the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. And that says that all powers that are not granted in the Constitution to the Congress are given to the states and the people. And it's time we have a governor that's willing to stand up and fight on principle. If I'm governor, no businesses are going to get shut down. If I'm governor, we're not going to let the schools shut down. In fact, I think it's probably a better idea to lock the teachers' union leaders out of the classrooms than the students. Folks, I know I've run out of time, but I am a proven conservative fighter. I've got a record as long as my arm fighting for conservative principles. You know what you're getting. You don't have to believe what I say. Look at what I've done. Promises made, promises kept. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. And now we're so pleased to have Carrie. We got to watch her on TV forever, delight us all. And yet I was thrilled when she decided to throw her hat in the ring. And since then, what I've been so impressed with